ranked choice voting. So just a quick recap on the upcoming elections and the changes that are going to take place. So how did we get to ranked choice voting? In 2009, we had a very expensive and low turnout runoff election for the offices of public advocate and comptroller. And that began the debate over the use of runoff elections. And as you may know, runoff elections basically were a rerunning of the entire election citywide. It cost roughly $13 to $15 million. It happened a few weeks after a primary when someone did not receive, a citywide candidate did not receive 40% of the vote. In 2010, then Councilmember Gail Brewer introduced the first ranked choice voting bill in the City Council. The New York City Charter Revision Commissions in 2010 and in 2018 explored the need for ranked choice voting in local elections, but determined they needed more time to make a decision. In 2019, the New York City Charter Revision Commission voted 14-1 to place ranked choice voting as a referendum before New York City voters. So it was actually on the November 2019 general election ballot and received 75% of yes votes, and therefore it passed, and it was scheduled to begin in 2021, and now we're here. So why are we here? Of course, this year, a lot of our local elected officials are term limited out of office, which led to a lot of open seats. Because of this, we have a wealth of diverse candidates stepping up to the plate to run for office. In addition, we have a robust campaign finance system that matches donations from New York City residents 6-1 and 8-1 respectively. Of course, under the previous system, with so many candidates, you can definitely risk splitting the vote. Previously, a city council member would only need a plurality, or basically whoever gets the most votes is the winner. But this will also mean that in a crowded race where we have 8, 9, 10, 12, some cases 15 candidates running for city council, someone could win with as little as 20% of the vote, which means that 80% of people voted for someone else. So what's new? As of right now, in all of our local primary and special elections for the offices of city council, borough president, public advocate, comptroller, and mayor, these are all ranked choice voting elections. Voters now have the option to rank up to 5 candidates, including a write-in. Runoff elections are now eliminated, and candidates will need at least 50% or more of the vote to win. So you now need a majority. Election day is June 22nd, just a few short days away. The last day to register to vote has already passed, May 28th. The deadline to change your address already passed as well, June 2nd. Early voting begins Saturday, June 12th, and runs through Sunday, June 20th. And of course, election day is the 22nd, and polls are open 6 to 9. So what is ranked choice voting? So I have a sample ballot on the right and a narrative on the left. And so we have our first choice. Now, this is where you mark your favorite candidate in the first choice column. So we say it's the candidate that you love. But of course, if you don't have a friend or family member in the race, you may not love anyone. So what does it really mean? This really means that you're picking the candidate who aligns closest with you on the issues that you care about. The candidate who shares your values and beliefs on those issues as well. You may give that candidate a contribution. You may volunteer on that campaign. You may also tell your friends and family about them. That is your first choice candidate. And as we can see here in this example, that is candidate C. Then you have your second choice candidate. And this is the person who you want to see elected if anything happened to your first choice. This is your solid backup candidate. Again, they share your same values and beliefs on the issues that you care about. And you just don't like them as much as you like the first, but you like them as well. That's your second choice. Again, we see here in the second choice column, they have shaded in the oval that corresponds to the row. Candidate B is the second choice. Then you have your third and fourth choices. Now you don't like them as much as the first two. They may not check off all those boxes, but they check off several. And so we see here, they may share your values as well. You just don't like them as much as the first two. And you mark them in your third and fourth choice columns. And we see here, the third choice was candidate E, because they shaded in the oval that corresponds to the row with candidate E. And the fourth choice was candidate D. And then of course you have your fifth choice candidate. And so we say here that that is the candidate that you can stand. This means that for some reason, the first four candidates are eliminated from the race. And then you see here, the fifth choice is that candidate, again, may not align with you on many issues, but they may align with you on some. And you know what? At the end of the day, if something happens to your first four choices, this fifth choice candidate could still represent the district well. And we see here that in this example, that is candidate A. They are marked in the fifth choice column in the row that corresponds to candidate A. And here we have a video that also will illustrate how ranked choice voting works.
Hi, I'm Mahir, and welcome to my bodega. As you may know, New York City has a new way to vote in special and primary elections. So, how does ranked choice voting work? The next time you vote in a city election, instead of choosing just one candidate, you can rank them all from your first choice to your fifth. Here's how it works. Let's say my bodega is picking its featured snack of the month. So many choices. Which one should I feature? This customer ranks Parker Pretzels as her top favorite. She also ranks her second choice, Mr. Chips, third choice, Chi-Chi Chicharrones, fourth choice, Gladys Gummies, and fifth choice, Poppy Popcorn. Other customers rank their choices as well. If Parker Pretzels is the favorite choice and wins more than 50% of all the first ranked choices, then Parker Pretzels is the winner and is featured as the snack of the month. However, if no snack gets more than 50%, then the least popular snack is eliminated. Sorry, Figgy Bars. The remaining second-ranked choices from customers who chose Figgy Bars are redistributed. So if customers chose chips and chicharrones as second choices, then those two snacks receive additional votes. The new totals are counted and the process repeats until there's a winner of the final two. Congrats, Poppy Popcorn, you're the bodega snack favorite. Back in the real world, before it's time to vote for humans, visit rankthevotenyc.org for more information. Thank you, New York City, for voting and for making these special and primary elections your elections.
And so here we have a sample of what your ballot may look like. It's going to be very important that you examine all pages and all sides of the ballot. All of the ranked choice voting elections will be kept together. So we see here, mayor, public advocate, city council, comptroller. Because there are so many candidates in many of the districts where we viewed sample ballots and absentee ballots already, some of these offices are even on a back page or a second page. So it's going to be imperative that whatever documentation you receive, whether it's absentee or in person, that you look at those ballots very carefully to make sure that you do not miss any election. Because in addition to these offices, there are non-ranked choice voting offices. If you live in District 1 and you're on this line and you're a registered Democrat, we also have a Manhattan District Attorney's race that is not ranked choice, that will be on a separate paper. And we see here, not a paper, excuse me, on a separate page of your ballot. So we see here options first choice through fifth choice. Again, let's say Emerson Brooks is my favorite candidate. I'm just going to go in this first choice column. This is where you mark your favorite candidate. I see Emerson Brooks's name in the row. I'm going to shade in that oval. My second choice could be Jess Allen. I'm just going to go over to the second choice column. I'm going to go to Jess Allen's name. I'm going to shade in this oval here and so on. And I'll continue in that manner. Before I talk about the counting of the rounds, I want to quickly go over the results of the mock election. Let me just refresh for those of you who may have voted. So we have 555 votes. That means 278 are required to determine the winner of this mock election. We see here with round one of counting, so round one of 8, 278 votes are required. Round one is a representation of the tabulation of all of the first choice votes. So these are all the first choice votes that have been counted, basically everyone who has voted, and these are their votes from that first column. We see here, no one has the required votes, so that more than 50% mark. So that means we're going to now go to rounds of counting. Rounds means that the person in last place will be eliminated and their votes will be redistributed based on the second choices on their ballot. So I want to be very clear. This is not a random redistribution. It is not an automatic redistribution to the person in first, second, third, fourth, or fifth place. This redistribution is based on the second choice of those who have voted that person as their first choice. So for example, we see Clove Lakes Park has 4 votes. If I voted for Clove Lakes Park as my first choice and Central Park is my second, my vote is going to go from Clove Lakes Park to Central Park. You could have voted for Clove Lakes Park as your first choice and voted for Brooklyn Bridge Park as your second choice. Your vote will go from Clove Lakes Park to Brooklyn Bridge Park. And this process is going to continue until we have 2 candidates left, even if someone reaches that more than 50% mark before then during the rounds. So let's just watch. And so we see here actually a situation that can come up. So Prospect Park is definitely the winner, even though it has not reached the 278 votes. We reached the last 2 candidates. Prospect Park has 269, Central Park has 264, and it's still whoever received the most votes in this situation is the winner. So the counting of the rounds are run after all ballots are counted. So what does this mean? An official winner will not be declared until all the votes are counted, included early votes, election day votes, affidavit, military, and absentee votes. So what we're going to see now on election night is a tabulation of the first choice votes from early voting and election day. A winner will not be determined for at least 2 to 3 weeks because absentee ballots can be postmarked and mailed as late as election day. And the Board of Elections has to wait for all of those votes to come in. They will count those first choice votes, combine them, of course, from early election day and other votes cast. If no candidate receives more than 50% of those first choice votes, they will then determine that it's a ranked choice vote election. They will hit a key on the computer and the results will be tabulated. But if someone reaches that threshold, then there will be no rounds of counting. In addition, the round by round vote totals will be released to the general public at vote.nyc, the official Board of Elections website. So why should voters use their rankings? It's going to give voters more choices, of course, obviously. Instead of voting for one person, you are now able to rank up to 5. It is also giving a voter more power in this situation as well. Candidates now have to expand their reach. It's not going to just only be about going to their key supporters, but now they may want to be the second, third, fourth, or fifth choice of another candidate's supporters. So they may approach you and say, you know what? You may have a candidate already. You may have your favorite person. That's fine. But can you rank me second, third, fourth, or fifth, or somewhere on your ballot? Even if your favorite candidate does not win the race, you still have a voice in who is ultimately elected to represent you in the district. You can also vote your conscience without worrying that you're wasting a vote. There may be a candidate that does not seem as viable as another. In this situation with ranked choice voting, you can rank them and still not feel like you're wasting a vote because then you have 4 other opportunities to rank a quote unquote more viable candidate. And then know this, ranking a second, third, fourth, or fifth choice will never hurt your favorite candidate. So here's some frequently asked questions. How many candidates do I rank? So you can rank up to 5 candidates. You can rank 4, 3, 2, or you can still go in and vote for one person if you choose. Do I have to use all 5 rankings? The answer to that question is no. Again, your vote still counts if you go in and vote for one person, if you rank 2, 3, or 4, but you only have 5. Can I rank a candidate more than once? So no, you cannot rank a candidate more than once. It does not help them to rank them. There's no supercharging your vote by ranking one person multiple times. And it really is because of how ranked choice voting works. It is based on elimination. Your vote is only moving from your first choice to your second choice after that first choice is eliminated from the race. Does it hurt my favorite candidates to have a second choice? So the answer is no. Once again, understanding how RCV works, your vote will stay with your favorite candidate as long as that candidate stays in the race. So starting right now, New York voters have the option to rank up to 5 candidates for the offices of city council, borough president, mayor, public advocate, and comptroller. They can also still vote for one person if they so choose in our local primary and special elections. Ranking will allow voters to feel at ease. They don't have to worry about wasting votes. And please, do not rank someone who you do not want to support. Someone often asks us those questions. If you don't want that person to win, don't rank them at all. You also don't have to worry about splitting the vote now. You can rank multiple candidates in your order of preference. And of course, now, from now on, moving forward, people will be elected to our local offices with a majority of the vote. And if nothing else, they will be the consensus candidate of a majority of the voters in that district. And here is our contact information. And that concludes the presentation.